we are live.
Cool. Cheers, mate. Good evening, everyone. Hope we're doing all right. Sorry, we're coming to you on a Tuesday. I was a broken mental mess at the Emirates last night in the last 10 minutes. So we're coming to you on a Tuesday. Hope we're all doing well. Just want to say hi to Catherine in the chat. It has come through.
Yes, I've got it
Um,
as well.
Right, and so any comments, Darren will read out as well.
Yeah.
So I'll introduce you to my guest, as you can hear. Darren, how are you, mate?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Tired, mate.
Yeah.
Tired, broken, mentally, but
Well, I'm
um,
kind of like glad the women's season's over, so we can all have a reset. We need to end
uh,
the men's on a high now, and then we can have a reset over the summer. Watch England fail miserably in the World Cup, and then
I
away
don't
we
care
go
about
again.
that. I've been eating. I've had loads of cherries today. Had some cherry coke. So
Yeah.
start listening to Frankie Valli singing about cherry. Like any more cherry related stuff to do in the chat, please drop it. Um, and then we've got Kev. How you doing, mate?
All good. Just about managed to recover from the weekend. That was knackering. All that was a lovely 5.5 hour drive back Sunday.
What was harder? What was harder for you, the drive or the seats?
Oh, don't even fucking go there.
Oh, mate, they were awful. And then we've got Amanda. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Recovered
Oh.
from the sadness, and yeah, like Kev said, it was a hell of a drive. Didn't actually appreciate how far away it was, but yes.
Yeah, no, it was. I was glad we got the win, and that was about it. You just take the win, run out of Anfield, Liverpool generally. And then we will have Chantel.
Chantel's on now, George.
I'm here now.
We have got Chantel. Chantel from the newly kicked out area of Southampton. How are you?
I'm so happy to
Oh,
see
that's not my funny enough.
getting kicked out as an Arsenal fan. But yeah, no, I'm good. Probably the best news apart from the win at the weekend. So loving life.
Just for those if they don't know, Southampton have actually been disqualified from playing in the men's playoff final for basically cheating.
Know that.
So yeah, so it will be Middlesbrough versus Hull now. So, but that's as much as men's football we're going to talk on it. We're going to talk about the women's stuff. Obviously, let's get started. We'll go into the last game of the season. Obviously, we wanted to end on a high, Darren, didn't we? Really, we still needed to secure that second place, which, for me, I think it's really a lot more important than people realise. Because I think you secure that second place, you don't have to play in the early qualifying rounds, but also from a transfer point of view, I think it's pivotal. So
Absolutely.
getting that win was massive, wasn't it?
It really was. And, Box Tech, they set out to do what they wanted. I mean, the first half, I think we can all agree the first half was quite exciting. The second half, job's done, end of the season, second point secure, or second place secured, I should say. And the second half was a bit of a bore, wasn't it? To be quite honest, in my opinion. We let the girls that are going have a good run out. Probably 50% of those wouldn't have been in the starting lineup if there was something to play for in that game, i.e., we was chasing Man City for the championship. I'm not sure. Palova most definitely probably would not have started. Anyway, but it is what it is. They all played well. We bid them a fond farewell. I'd be interested to find out where these girls are going. I know there's lots of speculation that maybe Beth and Katie McCabe potentially are off to Man City. Somebody I heard, Sam McCabe, is potentially off to Chelsea. Personally, I think them two, if they're not, well, I think it's a dead cert that Beth is off to join Viv at City. McCabe she would thrive very well at somewhere like Brighton, I think. So maybe that's where she's going. But anyway, good luck to her. Back to the game. It was good. We won. We got the 3 points. We've got automatic qualification for the Champions League. I was kind of like hoping that we might get another mini pre-European tour with the qualifications round robin. Somewhere very obscure that we might have never been to before, playing some very obscure teams that we might not ever play again. But hey ho, we did the job. The girls can now have a really good summer off. I know we're not talking about transfers, George, and I won't. Other than
No,
let's get some real good players in. There's some good rumours knocking around that we all know about, and let's reset and go again for 26-27.
yeah. No, I agree with some of that.
Just some.
I'd be shocked if McCabe went to Chelsea.
Well, no, I'm
In
not
real
saying
life.
she would. I'd be very shocked also. I mean, she hates them and they hate her. So
Yeah, so I don't think that could have done well. Also, we've got Reese in the chat. Hope you're all right, mate. Laura's in the chat, or she's here anyway because she's producing the show. But hope you're all right, Laura. Kev, we're going to come to you, obviously, just kind of echoing what Darren said about the win, how important it is. I think what's important is we're not got to play in that silly competition at Brentford now. So it does enable our players to have a proper pre-season, especially if we bring the players in that we know are going to come in quite early on, because whether you look at it, even if you bring 4 to 6 players in, they still need time to gel, don't they?
Yeah. Obviously, one of the key ones that everyone's sort of almost 99.99% certain of, will find it easier to settle in alongside some England teammates. On the World Sevens, I don't think we were ever going to play in that.
thank God.
I think Renee come out fairly quickly when asked, so they wouldn't be taking part. It's a bit annoying for me because I got a ticket for the final day, which I probably won't use now.
Tell it to a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. They'd have to be a pensioner as well, so
It'd be a Chelsea pensioner, there you
yeah.
But yeah, obviously Chantel, going into the game, we saw the lineup. What we saw, obviously Katie McCabe was captain. What was your thought going into the lineup? I thought it was a strong enough lineup to get the victory, because I think what some people are not really, even though it was Liverpool was at home, but they've been very poor this season, haven't they?
Yeah, I think looking at how they've played this season, they've not really, like, defensively, they have been strong at times, but we have seen that once that defensive is broken, it's then become a floodgate for people. And I would have liked to see Borba being goal, whether she was fully fit or not, I don't know. But I feel like that would have been a nice way to end the season, because then I think she could have been in contention for the glove, because she would have had like the most saves in that, which would have been nice. But yeah, no, I think like our bench up against Liverpool, definitely strong enough, and we didn't have to bring out the big guns to start off with. And I think from the get-go, that starting lineup had a point to prove, with some of them that aren't leaving to be like, I'm still contending to want to be a starting lineup person.
Yeah. And then Amanda, obviously, Leslie got a couple of goals, even though I thought Stina was one of them. I thought it was a bit harsh. I thought I should have gave it to Stina. But we've got talking about Russo. Obviously, we know what she can do. But my point is with Russo, Amanda, is she's only going to get better and better as soon as we bring these better players in to surround her, isn't she? I think we see that she can play in the 10 very, very effectively. She can play in the 9 very effectively. So what's been your views on Leslie? Because that's predominantly we've seen that kind of be born this season, haven't we?
Yeah, she's phenomenal. And some of the link ups that she's achieved this season with both Stina and Frida recently has been really good. And yeah, like you say, she's only going to get better and better when you bring in potentially a couple or maybe even more world-class players to go round her. But also that goal from Mariona. that was pretty good. I watched that back on the telly when I got home. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, evening, Ryan. Hope you're all right, mate. A bit like what Laura just said, that Stanway will benefit Russo. I think that's bang on. I cannot bang the Stanway drum any louder than I am already. I think she transforms Arsenal next season. Personally.
I think if you look at the two, I know we're not talking about transfers, but if you look at the two
but-
main potential ones that we've got potentially coming, Stanway, absolute world class, has had so much success in the Bundesliga, and then if we get owner Bache as well, another world class superstar, World Cup winning player, regular in the Spanish team, not bit part player. So they're I consider them both upgrades. So I think next year, Russo's only going to get even better. So's Mariona, Holmberg. They're all going to thrive off being around these excellent players. So I think it's very optimistic.
Yeah, I agree. Darren, coming back to you, obviously just talking about some of the other players that are playing. I think Lotta had another steady game again. She's kind of become misreliable, hasn't she, like throughout most of this season, especially with Leah having a lot of injury problems. Obviously Katie Reed's out. It's been I think a lot of when we talk about players of the season, and so I'm not saying she is a player of the season, but we'll talk about that on next week's show for the end of season review. But just get your thoughts on Lotta. I think she's been, like I said, pretty dependable.
Lotta's always dependable. You know what you're going to get with Lotta. She always puts in a really good shift. She's dependable, reliable, and the people around her know that they can count on her at every single moment of the game, in my opinion. 2 seasons ago, we all know she was player of the season. It wasn't last season, was it? It was 2 seasons ago, wasn't it? Yeah, player of the season. You don't get that from being a slouch. I feel so bloody sorry for Lotta. She hardly ever gets a look in the England setup, and she's better than most of the defenders they've got on show there. And also, she seems to be, for some bizarre reason, I'm sure somebody will disagree and tell me otherwise, but as far as I'm concerned, Lotta should be one of the first names that's on the team sheet. But of course, you've got Steph Catley in front of her, and depending on what your views are, my views are personally that I would pick Lotta over Steph, but I know a lot of people disagree with that, having had chats about it in the various pre-meetup pubs that we go to and so on and so forth. Leah's always going to be a starter if she's fit. So
Good word that
if she's fit, so you out of consideration. Leah's a whole different ball game at the moment. Goodness, I don't even know how many. Catherine would tell us she's probably started 4 or 5 games this season. I'm not entirely sure. She's not been there at all for us. She needs to be given Lotta. My mistake. Leah needs to be given a summer to really rest and recuperate and just keep up the good rehabilitation or whatever it is she needs to do with the Arsenal physios. She needs to come back strong and fit next season. And as I say, Steph is always going to get picked over Lotta, which I think is an absolute travesty. But Renee knows what she's doing, I guess.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate about the Lotta versus Steph Catley one because I'll stick with you, Darren, just for a moment. When we played Lyon away, I felt we massively missed Steph Catley in that. And that's not shitting on Lotta Ruben would say, oh, she's rubbish or nothing. I don't know. I just think Steph Catley in that defence gives you a lot more solidarity and just seems a bit calmer. But it's a nice problem to have, isn't it? Especially like you were saying about Leo. If she's fully fit, you've got those 3 who you can pick from. But I agree. I think Leah, like I've seen she's been picked for the England squad. I was hoping she wouldn't, because I wouldn't have minded her having a whole summer off and a whole pre-season.
But that's not a bad thing to go to the England camp, because she'll still maintain her treatment. And then, like the last international round, she does her treatment and then she gets sent back to Arsenal anyway. So there's no guarantees that she's going to play. We know that for a fact. She missed the last game against Liverpool. I don't know. She was on the bench. We all know that. Was that precautionary, or was she still not fully fit? And if that's the case, then she shouldn't be playing for England. But we'll see what happens in that respect. Your remark about Lotta not really showing up against Leon, I don't think any of the other 10 players did either, to be quite honest.
No, I just think in that sense, it probably weren't the greatest example to give. I just think Catley's been very, very good, like over the last 12 months, 18 months, and I think she was a mainstay of us winning that Champions League last season. But I do think we missed her quite a lot in that Lyon away game.
What
I'm
I
not
like
saying
about
she would have made a massive difference, but I just think like compared, I
One
don't
of the
know.
things I like about Lotta also, George and
Yeah.
panel, is she is sometimes a threat from set pieces, corner set pieces. We don't necessarily see that with Steph. And next year, we all know we're getting a new set piece coach, so maybe the aerial threat from the tall ladies within our defence will become more of a bargaining tool for us. Because this season, we all know that it hasn't worked. There's only one corner goal that springs to mind for me, and well, that was Leah, actually, wasn't it?
I think
Apart from that, I can't remember any. Sorry.
I think Leah and then Laia Kadena scored a corner as
Did
well.
she?
Header.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the whole Lotta versus Steph situation, I'm more on George's wavelength. I'm not as high on the Lotta scale as you, Dan. But do you think that's because she doesn't get the frequent minutes every game time? So then when she is called in action for these long games, because the likes of Steph and Leah are out, because she's not used to getting regular game times throughout the whole season and playing every game, do you think that's taken her a bit of time to get into that fluidity of the demand rather than like Steph and Leah who get picked constantly? Like, she's great at, like, when we need her, she's good at coming in and being versatile and putting up a front. But I think over the long term, you can see, because she doesn't play that frequently, you then start to see the odd sloppy ball, or she keeps it quite close to our own box, inviting players to tackle her, and she doesn't release it quick enough, which then she either manages to luckily pull a foul on her so that she can get a free kick, or sometimes it's possessed.
I don't think I can necessarily argue with any of that analysis you just gave. It's all spot on as far as I'm concerned. So that blows my argument out of the water.
I wasn't going to mention.
In that respect, Steph is always going to be a starter over Lotta. But the only thing I'd hark back to is 2 seasons ago when she was a regular, she was player of the season. So we know she's got it within her.
I think with Lotta is I think with Lotta, she has to play a run of games. She's not the sort of player that you can say like bring in for 1 or 2 games and then think she's going to be like as good as she would be if she's played 7 or 8, in my opinion.
Maybe,
don't get it wrong. I don't think she's been poor. I think she has been very, very good. I just think like going forward, and I know Catherine said about Fox. I don't want to be seeing Fox as a centre half. Thank you.
No.
That's why we've got the summer to go and buy someone. Kev, coming. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I guess this is the argument for Renee to actually rotate her team and players regularly then, for when it's called upon for the lower cup games, that you do give the likes of Steph and Leah a rest so that they're not going to be prone to an injury later in the season, and the likes of Lotta and other people can step up on the games that necessarily aren't always a threat in the beginning of the matches.
Yeah, I just think player management next season and the rotation is so key. We've seen it with other teams. Even if,
I'm just laughing at Dorian's remark.
He said he trusts Renee more than you. So, but evening, Dorian, and even, I think your brother's in the chat somewhere. So
yeah, he came a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so I hope you're all right, Chris, as well. Kev, obviously, carrying on with the game, Obviously, we saw players like Livy Smith feature as well. I think when it comes to the front three, you want to be seeing her playing as much as we can, don't you? But I think you also need to be prepared that you may have to rotate her a little bit. One, because of her age, and two, the amount of wax she gets. Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's something they'll work on in the summer? Because the best players are going to get targeted, aren't they?
Yeah, she's always going to get whacked. There's no two ways about it. So it's either do you start her knowing full well that you're probably going to have to take her off at half time some weeks because her ankles are going to be a mess already. Or do you save her and bring her on as an impact player? Because she certainly make an impact, especially when defenders are knackered after chasing shadows. So yeah, again, that comes down to Renee. I'm not one for over rotation.
No.
I think if you've got your starting 11, unless you're playing a Leicester, or but bearing in mind, as far as cup games go, we're not going to have any. We're going to have. When do we come into the FA Cup? Fourth round?
Yeah. Is it fourth or is it third?
Fourth, I think.
Well, we ain't got no Conti Cup, have we?
No, yeah, so you're not going to have the cup games to rest players. So yeah, I don't think rotating too much is helpful because, as we've seen, the league is getting stronger, and obviously London City are going to spend another few million and strengthen.
Oh, Mary's back, isn't she? Apparently. Mary.
I don't call that strengthening.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
At this stage in her career, but it will bring them in fans and merchandise sales. It's a marketing strategy. It's got to be.
The thing with what you said about Smith with the impact sub, it wouldn't bother me as much if we had two other good wingers at the club. Everyone knows my opinion on Caitlin Ford. And I don't actually think Chloe Kelly's had the most effective season either because of injuries and just lack of form. So I think it's a lot of. That's why I'm kind of happy that it looks like we might be investing in wingers this summer. Hopefully, we get another one in because I think that's a lot of pressure to put on Livy Smith, especially at her age. You think this season, Kev, there's been a lot of pressure on Livy Smith to perform because she's been one of the mainstays of that team, hasn't she? Like, all right, Beth Mead's been playing and had a few good games this season, but let's not get it twisted. She ain't there now. So ultimately, the next person that falls onto is probably Smith and Kelly, but Kelly's not effective.
No, she's not. I don't think she's been fit all season.
No.
But you're missing out our best crosser of the ball, Smilla Holmberg. I can see her playing on the right wing quite a bit next year, unless we do sign another world class winger. Because by far and away the best crosser we got at the moment.
Not necessarily the best finisher at the moment, though, Kev. She certainly works. No. She needs to work on that part of her game.
Oh yes, without doubt. That's probably a lack of composure. You know, I think she got excited at the weekend
quite a few times.
But yeah, again, it is a case of we've got what we've got. The WSL is going to be stronger next year, and you'd like to think that I was on the way home. On the way back to the hotel from Anfield. I decided not to splash out the money and get an Uber. I actually hopped on a bus and used my bus pass for the first time
Oh, well done.
in all my Arsenal glory on a bus full of Scousers. Come on.
You made it back. Well done.
And I was actually having a chat because there was a half-mile walk from the bus stop to the hotel. I was actually having a chat with 2 Liverpool fans on the
You
way.
understood them.
That was most of their fan base then on Saturday.
Comes from Ashford.
Yeah, makes more sense.
Man United fan.
But we were discussing the clubs like Liverpool, United, and to a lesser extent, sort of Villa, should be backing their women's team. Should be splashing some cash. I mean, it's a drop in the ocean compared to what they throw down the drain for the men's teams. So, what's spending a couple of million on the women's team for a couple of decent transfers? Clubs like Liverpool should not be finishing 11th in the WSL. So yeah, it was quite an interesting conversation, and they were just saying they might not.
Yeah.
But we're spoiled.
I just want to say something about Smilla, if I may. We need to be very, very careful that she doesn't become also predictable in what she's going to do. There was some chat, I don't know if it was on this particular show or within the various groups that we're all part of.
Yeah, so I saw some of that.
WSL teams have already worked her out. She gets the ball, she tries to get to the byline and she crosses it, and they just cut her out. So, Renee and her coaching staff next year must make sure that she is not going to become that predictable. And there's an element of surprise to her game as well. So, cut in every now and again. Don't always try to get to the byline.
Well, everybody in the world knew what Beth Mead was going to do when she cut in onto her left foot.
Well, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But yeah, and you're right, Dorian. I would also trust Renee over me any day.
Yeah, I know Laura said about world-class wingers who we probably need who is because no one can answer it. Well, I can answer that. So for me, I put people in that bracket. I'd probably say Cara Ball. I think that's how you say her name, from Bayern Munich. Linda Caicedo is another one. I'm not buying all this crap. Oh, well, she's just signed a new deal with Arsenal Football Club, for God's sake. If Arsenal went and offered Real Madrid 3-4 million, or probably not even that much, 2-3 million, don't tell me don't tell me Real Madrid say, oh yeah, no, maybe not. So,
and why would she want to stay at Madrid? They're not going to win anything. They're real poor.
Like, you look at Arsenal. Arsenal's an attractive opportunity as well. Like, we play out in front of crowd, breaking records of crowds. We won the Champions League last season. Whether people like it or not, we were only, say, a few points off of winning the WSL. You take some of them silly results at the start of the season away, we win the league. And Arsenal are globally a massive club. So there's plenty of winners out there that you can get. And they don't need to be world-class winners, though, at the start. Because I just think you can... I remember Darren will probably remember. I remember a certain French magician years ago for the men's team said that Arsenal don't buy superstars, they make them.
Yes.
So we don't need to. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Selena Churchy's going to be the answer to our problems, but at the end of the day, Arsenal can spend money. So if that's the way, the ambition they're looking at, I just wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal did look at someone who's like a winger, might even be a younger, like Barcelona. They need all the money they can get, so they're the sort of players I'm looking at now. Arsenal need players who are going to raise the ceiling, not a level, like increase the floor. Like Bagier, Stanway, massively an increase on what we've got. Amanda, I'm going to come to you. Obviously, we'll chat about a bit more. I want to chat about the goalkeepers. Obviously, I think we've had loads of chats about Van Donselaar versus Borba, but I think we've been quite lucky to have two really, really good goalkeepers this season, haven't we? I still think Van Donselaar is miles ahead of Borba, but I know not everyone agrees with me there. But I think we see the difference, don't we, with Van Donselaar, and in those big games, like probably the Chelsea one's the one that stands out the most to me. But Borba hasn't shied away either, has she?
No, I think we're really lucky to have two, I think, top class keepers there. I'm probably with you, probably Van Domselaar slightly over Borba, but it's good to know that if she does pick up another injury, we've got someone really, really good who can step in. I think she's done good when we've needed her this season. But I'd have to agree with you. I think Van Domselaar just about wins it.
A quick question on keepers. We've only got 2 keepers now, haven't we?
Yeah.
So are we going in the market for a third?
So this is my question.
I think Amy will step into Naomi's role.
Who?
Amy Lydiard.
Don't start who. We've already got rid of that, mate.
No, I didn't hear what he said. I know.
Right. So this is where I stand with it, and there hasn't been many people agreeing with me, like especially in the supporters chat. I think we've got two very good goalkeepers in Daphne Van Donselaar and Borba. I don't see why you can't have Lydiard as your third choice, because one, how is there a pathway for any goalkeeper to come in? And two, you're just unlucky if you get 2 injuries on a goalkeeper. It doesn't happen often. Like, when I'd like to know, like Catherine might be able to answer this. I'm sure the last third choice goalkeeper that probably played for us for a reason was Caitlin Marquise. And like how many years ago that was. So I don't think we need to waste money on a goalkeeper that we're going to just bring in for season on season, like Bahadi or the one we just I can't pronounce the one we just let go. Yeah, that's the one. So do you get what I mean? I don't know. Let's see what you guys think on that, but I don't think we necessarily need to bring a goalkeeper in just to be a buffer. I understand you have the goalkeepers union and the group and all that. Kev, I'll come to you quickly because obviously you was a goalkeeper. Do you think you need to have someone who's heavily experienced in that third choice, or could Lydiard do a job?
No, I think Amy Lydiard is the perfect stand-in because 99% of the season she's going to be helping in warm-up and in training, and she can still play for the academy side. So, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be enough.
Yeah. See, I know Catherine said we need a third keeper. I don't actually think we do. But I think, like, if you, I don't like comparing it, but it's the best example I can give. So Arsenal men played earlier in the season. They had, I think it was David Raya was suspended or something like that, and then Kepa picked up an injury, which was unfortunate. So we had to play a third or fourth choice goalkeeper in a game like that, but that's only happened once. So, like, going back to the women, like, predominantly most of the games are covered by Van Donselaar or Borba. If they're both injured, then you're just kind of unlucky, because how else, Chantel, how else is a young goalkeeper going to make a pathway into trying to break into the first team squad? I'm not saying they're going to take over as number 1, but even as a number 2, they just got no chance. And I just think I don't think you need 3 or 4 goalkeepers, because our squad's going to be bigger anyway. And the only reason we've been naming 2 goalkeepers on the bench is because certain players have been injured or unavailable.
Yeah, I think it's hard depending on like Daphne's injury, because she got injured with the Netherlands as well. Like, is this going to be a forefront of her being prone to injury with like the dives and the saves she's going to have to make? If so, then long term, I think potentially we are going to need a third one just as a safety net. But would we need one at all times? Probably not. Like, we could use the academy goalkeeper for the under-23s, and then if it gets to the point that we're in that stage, we can always call them up. But always needing 3 when we go to a game, probably not. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, it's just a bit like what Luke just said. And I hope you're all right, mate. You have to be unlucky, and yeah, you would have 3 registered goalkeepers for the Champions League. Lydiard can be that third. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I just don't think you need. So you're bringing in a third choice goalkeeper who don't play. Just that you only bring them in just in case. Your first 2 goalkeepers. I don't understand what the difference is, apart from the little bit more experience than having Lydiard in that third position. Me personally, I think it's pointless.
And you're not going to get a class goalkeeper come in as third choice.
No, they're like, and you ain't gonna want your third choice goalkeeper playing 3 or 4 games, are you? And like how unlucky and how I know what people say. Oh, that'd just be your luck that you don't do that, and then your 2 goalkeepers get injured. Fine, but that's just unfortunate. It's just the way it is. I just think, like we've seen with Naomi Williams, was there any reason she couldn't have been the third choice goalkeeper this season? No, not for me. But she needed to leave so she can start playing regular football. I'm not saying that. What I understand that these younger players need to leave to play that. But if Amy Lydiard wants to break through, she's 17 years old, so she's got a lot of years on her side. But say she wants to become the third choice and she's like in like 2 or 3 years, and then Borba or whoever or Van Donta gets injured, then she does have a chance. And let's remember, this third choice goalkeeper can also play for the under-21s as well. It's not saying they can't. I don't know. Amanda, what's your thoughts on the goalkeeping situation? Do you think we need to have someone like the third choice goalkeeper bringing in? And yeah, well, I think people actually forget is Borba was brought in supposedly as a third choice goalkeeper.
I
When
think it would
Manu
be
was fit.
I think it would be a really tough sell to get someone of any like significant quality as a third keeper, because like you've said, no one is gonna. Well, I'm saying no one like as if I know anything. In my opinion, I don't think anyone is really going to want to come and be guaranteed to sit on the bench all season in the vague chance that both of our keepers get injured. I think as both of you have suggested, having the Lydiard and then allow her to do double duty with the other team as well, I think it's probably a really good solution. Then if the worst does happen, we've got someone, and also we're growing somebody for the future. So, in a few seasons' time, she's only 17. That's a baby in terms of goalkeeping, isn't it? They can go on till they're like 40. So, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my focus if I was Renee above other positions that I think we really do need some help in. And as Laura said, Stanway apparently can play in goal as well. So, that's okay.
When that's her brother, or ask Mike. Mike, no. But yeah, like also what's said as well, if worst case scenario, you can also do an emergency loan. Chelsea did it. So if you really needed to, I just think for me, I would be buying whoever we need to buy first. And then right at the end, if it was, I don't know, we probably just need someone to be a bit of a buffer, then fine. But I don't know. It don't just sit well with me that we're bringing in goalkeepers for 6 months each time, just so they can sit there just in case. Like, I don't know. I just think it blocks the academy graduates. Like you said, Amanda, look, Lydia's only 17, so by the time she's like 22, probably Van Donsela will be how old is she now? She's not young, is she? Like young. Compared to Darren and Kev, I mean, but like
He can't resist it, can he, Kev? Can't resist it.
I could probably still manage a dive. I wouldn't get up. I wouldn't get up though.
Sorry. I don't with any of us will. But yeah, I just think it blocks it off for me. But yeah, just to finish up, like, obviously on the game generally, Darren, obviously we've spoke a lot about Stina and Russo, that partnership. How do you think that's flourished this season? I think Stina seems to be holding the ball up a lot better and at least trying to change aspects of her game with the offsides and all that stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of debate about this all season, hasn't there? And it depends on who you speak to, depends on whether they agree or do not agree that the Russo Stina partnership works. Every time I've seen them, for probably the greater margin, they've been actually very good together. I think it's all for nothing though, because next season, I think Stina's probably going to be more of a bench player than she has been towards the latter end of the season. But yeah, I mean, we all think and we all know that Stina is an incredible player, don't we, George? And we all know what she brings to the team, don't we, George? So, you know, I'm never going to speak ill of that woman, ever.
A good player, mate.
I'm not going to have a meltdown if she leaves, though. Put it that way. You know, I'm not going to be one of those sort of people. I think she's shown her worth to the team, which is why she's been given a contract extension. But next season, you know, with Stanway coming in, there could be a few other players, Mariona in particular, that actually might get to play in their more preferred position, and that then, you know, gives us a little more flexibility up front with Russo. But Russo, as we all know, she loves to come back and just win the ball. She's probably one of the better players in the WSL for doing that, retrieving the ball. Assists, goals, they all speak for themselves. There was a point I wanted to make on Russo, but it's just escaped memory because I'm waffling on like an idiot. When it comes back, I'll jump in.
No,
but yeah, as usual, I know. So let's see what happens.
I didn't say that for once.
I can see it in your face, George. No, I can't remember what I was going to say about Stina, but I hope she gets a lot of opportunities next season. Probably not as much as I, for one, would hope. But as we've been discussing already in this chat, squad rotation and management is going to be key for us next year. If we want to go far in only four competitions next year, then we need to manage that squad and we need to bring in real good off the bench players that are going to make an impact. And we all know that Stina is one of the best in the business at that. But she can't be alone. You know, like for like positions need to be also thought about. I agree your view on Chloe Kelly, Jules. She's been a complete waste of space for the latter half of the season, and that's not necessarily her fault. We all know she's a quality player, but you know, injuries and so on and so forth have distracted from the fact that she's not really been producing on the pitch, not only for Arsenal but also for the Lionesses. So you know, nobody can discriminate Renee for not picking her. Serena, whatever her name is, does exactly the same.
Yeah, no. I was going to ask you, with Stina, do you think she could play on the left or not?
Well, she has been for part of the season, hasn't she? She tends to go out wide, right or left. She's created, I can't remember what game it was, but she was out on the right wing, retrieved the ball, almost dead for no good ball from the touchline. I can't remember what goal it was. It was her involvement that kept it from going out from a corner and then somebody scored, but I'm damned if I can remember.
Because I'm wondering if you
I don't think she's
it
a winger,
up
though.
a bit.
You can't play her as a winger. She's not a winger.
But could you play her as a sort of a kind of striker? I'm trying to veer away from James's 4-4-2.
Yeah, I was just about to say, be careful because you're going into 4-4-2 territory here.
More what I mean is, could you play Russo through the middle and then say Stina sort of as the forward, but who kind of veers to the left? So it's kind of like a false nine, but moving more into either a left winger sort of position, because they're going to work. They're not going to try and give her too much space. I think I agree with what you're saying. I think midfield next season, I want to be seeing Kim or Reuteler with Stanway and Mariona in the 10, which means what you do with Stina.
Well, which is why
and then I I wouldn't be dead against seeing in certain games Stina starting, Russo being rotated, because I feel like Russo plays far too many games. Like she gets burnt out. Like I love Alessi Russo, everyone knows that, but like we said about player rotation, there's no reason you can't swap it around sometimes.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to try it. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But there's going to be a lot of games next season. 2 more teams in the WSL, for instance, all the cup competitions. And are we in the Carabao? Or do we just not join it? I can't remember what the rule was there. And now we're in the Champions League. Do we not take part in the Carabao at all, or do we?
I don't think we play it now.
So any team that's qualified for Europe Champions League does not play in the Conti Cup at all.
At all, right? So we don't need to worry about those Mickey Mouse games.
No. So we've only got to play in the WSL, the FA Cup, and the Champions League.
Okay, well that gives everybody a fair opportunity to shine, there's some wonderful predicted signings next year. I think as Arsenal women's fans, we've got reasons to be very, very optimistic for next season, as long as the player management is done carefully. We can't have anybody being burnt out. Mario simply cannot play every single game. Clearly, Kim is not going to play every single game. She just hasn't got the legs on her anymore, sadly. Which is why any new signings that are coming in should be key for us next year. I'm very excited. Very excited.
And I just think there's options. Do you know what I mean? We can switch it up a bit. Like Laura said, that's what pre-season's all about, trying these different things. But we also forget we don't actually know what's going to happen with Michelle Adjiman when she comes back either. We don't know if she'll go out on a loan to try and get some more minutes, or if Arsenal think, do you know what, let's try it. And then if you've got people like Russo, Stina, Adjiman, that's a lot of different options you can try. Like also what's said as well is Georgia Stanway doesn't have to be specifically playing at the 8, so there's no reason you couldn't go Stanway in the 6, Mariona and Russo as advanced players going like as 10s. So like Dorian said, I think you just let Mario play as attack minded and advanced as possible and let her decide where she wants to play.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we see the better of Mariona Chantel when she's in that advanced 10. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. One thing I'd say about Michelle is I'd be keen as mustard to keep hold of her.
I didn't know my voice could go that deep.
Yes, there you go.
What happened?
I said Chantel and you answered.
Oh, sorry. Chantel, carry on. I do apologise. You know why? I'm being a dickhead bloke and trying to multitask and watch the football in the background. I do apologise.
No, it's all good.
Everybody's welcome, no matter your tendencies.
Yeah.
I definitely think like a player of Mario's calibre deserves that freedom, and we've seen what she can create when she is given that freedom. And I think to limit her in such attacking positions doesn't do her justice, but it also doesn't do the team justice, because if you look at how she can build and create things, she will work fluidly with whoever you put around her. So giving her that more freedom of where she can play, where she wants to play, move where she wants to go, I think it opens up so much more opportunities strategically, and not only defensively, but when she picks up the ball and she wants to drive forward, like she can do that. And I think that's what we just need to let her have. And if it turns out that she needs a little bit of structure and formation, then we'll edit it. But at the moment, I think you just, because she's so pivotal in creating such good plays and movement and creating spaces and picking up the ball, I think we just need to let her have the ball where she wants it and then do what she wants with it, so then the other players will follow that strategic attack.
Yeah. Dorian, just to answer your question, Chelsea wouldn't qualify for that because from what they're saying is no English clubs will be playing in Europa League. So if they don't qualify, as far as I know, unless it's changed from last season, they'll just be out of Europe. Cool. I'm going to go around quickly. So before we finish, and I'll start with you, Amanda, and get your player of the match on Saturday. Difference is you've got to name who the player is, but you've got to tell me why. You can't just say the name this time.
Okay, I'm gonna say Mariona because that goal.
I thought you were going to say someone else then.
Frida, no.
No. It starts with an M.
Oh.
But yeah, I think with Mariona, Amanda, we know what she can do, don't we? And that's just more what we want to see.
Yeah, I think I would completely agree with what everyone said about giving her a freer role next season, because I feel like it was a little bit not wasted, because she's a great player wherever she plays, but I think her top talent has been slightly wasted, getting a bit bogged down where she's been played this season. But she's just class. She's just quality.
Yeah. Mike has said about Stanway offers a lot of versatility because she's played 6, 8, 9, 10 fullback. And if anyone would know, it's Mike. He knows. And if you know, you know. Player of the match, Kev.
It's going to be Alessia.
Yeah.
I mean, the two goals, the work rate, it's even right at the end, chasing down a ball that was going out for a goal kick and retrieving it. She's just phenomenal. And getting better every season. So come on, 30 goals next season in all comps.
Yeah. Laura said Palova. Yeah.
Drinking.
I don't think the bar was high from Palova's performances, but that's probably the best that she's played recently, but still not good enough for me. Chantel, who is your player of the match?
I think she might have gone.
no,
That's a bit.
the Wi-Fi. I don't want to match with anyone because then that would be boring. I think, do you know what? Just to give her one final name drop on the Arsenal podcast, I'm going to say Katie McCabe, just because she came out. Just because she came out, she took the captain's armband. The whole controversy of like the leaving announcement and all that lot. It did her, and I think for her final game, she kept her head quite cool. As we know, she is a very hot-headed Irish. So I'm going to give her for that. And she assisted Mario on that amazing goal. So you've got to give her some credit.
Yeah, cool. Well done, Katie. Thanks for the memory. See you later. Well, Darren.
Yeah.
Player of the match. Wake up.
No, I was joking with you. Right. So I'm a man of the people. I like to please people. So I'm going to say.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to say McCabe for all your Irish podcast fans, George. I'm going to say.
Do we have any?
Yeah, we do. I'm going to say Ford because Dorian loves her. I'm going to say Marnham because Laura loves her. I'm going to say Stina because I'm contracted to do so. But then also I'm going to say Russo because of her 2 goals and her all-round play.
Cool. I can't believe you didn't say Katie Reid because she's not put a foot on this season.
If she'd been on the pitch, I would have mentioned her.
Yeah, but you mentioned Ford.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. But no, all jokes aside. All right, my player of the match, who am I going to go for? I'm going to surprise you all. And I'm going to go for Lotta. I think she was steady again. And no one else has said her name, so why not? So yeah, let me see. Have we got any comments for Philip on? Oh, Leah Williamson for her photography skills. No,
George,
they're not as good. They're
George,
not as good as Susie's.
George, I just remembered the comment I wanted to make on Russo.
But
I'm gobsmacked that she wasn't in the WSL Team of the Year.
oh, was she not?
Mm.
Gobsmacked.
Who
Can't
was
believe.
it? Sure, I assume.
Yeah, well, I can't remember exactly who they were, but she wasn't in it. Mariona was. In fact, I can't even remember. I just remember reading it, thinking, "Where the hell's Russo?"
Yeah, it was only Mariona and McCabe for us,
That was it. Yeah, McCabe as
which
well.
is yeah.
Weird.
I think it's a bit of a scandal not having Russo, to be fair, but
Mm.
Anyway,
Mm.
that's what.
So someone said Leah Williamson for her photography skills.
Well,
And
somebody's got to take over from Dina now. She's gone, hasn't she?
well, it's not as good as Susie's, are they? So let's
Ah.
let's go from there. On that note, I just want to say thank you to all the people in the chat. It's been a really good show again. Obviously we're reviewing that game, but next week I'm planning on we're going to do like a big massive end of season review. So we've got the Arsenal Women Chat Show, Player of the Season, Goal of the Season, all them stuff. So definitely keep watching for that. Just want to thank you, say thank you to my guests. Darren, thank you, mate.
No problems at all, Jules. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Chantel, that's you, Chantel. Thank you.
Hey, I've hung up. Oh, just to let you know, Darren put his 2 fingers up to you.
That's not the worst he's done. So
Putting up my ventriloquist act with Darren because he's a lousy dummy. And thank you for having me go
I'm
tonight.
a lousy dummy. Funny enough, that's what my ex-wife said as well.
Kev, thank you, mate.
Thank you, George. It's been an absolute pleasure again, mate, as always.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot more positive stuff up and coming. We're going to be doing our Gooner story stuff throughout the summer as well, so it'd be good to get some of you on for that. And Amanda, thank you as always, being Mrs. Positive.
A lot to be a positive about at the moment, I think.
Yeah,
Bring it
exactly.
on. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Yeah, so remember, hit that subscribe button for all the channels you can see on there. Also, just a thanks to Laura for producing the show and everything that she does. And we'll be back with some more brilliant content. All that's left to say is make sure you eat some cherries tonight. Come on, you Gunners.
Come on, you Gunners.